Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake, lived a young woman named Ella. Ella was known throughout the village for her infectious laughter and her radiant smile. But what people didn't know was that behind that smile, Ella harbored a secret pain. You see, Ella had a rare medical condition that made her entire body feel like it was on fire all the time. The only thing that stopped the burning sensation was water. So Ella spent most of her days submerged in a bathtub just to get some relief. As you can imagine, this made it difficult for her to do pretty much anything else, like going to school or hanging out with friends. Ella felt like she was missing out on the best years of her life. And to make matters worse, there wasn't any known cure for her illness. So Ella was stuck in her bathtub for the foreseeable future. One day, while Ella was sitting in her bathtub thinking about how miserable her life had become, she noticed something strange. She saw that the water in the tub wasn't just relieving the pain in her body, but it was also making her feel happy. It was almost as if the water was washing away her sadness and replacing it with joy. From that day on, Ella decided to make the most of her situation. She started taking long, hot baths every day, and even invested in a fancy bathtub and a big house with a view of the lake so she could enjoy the scenery while she soaked. The funny thing is that as the years went by, people in the village started to forget about her because they didn't see her outside anymore. They thought that she had just become a recluse. But the truth was that Ella was happier than she had ever been before. One day, a famous writer named Leo strolled through the village. He was looking for inspiration for his next novel when he heard people talking about the strange girl who lived in the big house by the lake. Curious, he decided to pay her a visit. When Leo first knocked on the door, Ella was hesitant to open it. She hadn't had any visitors in years, and the thought of having someone barge into her private life made her nervous. But when she opened the door and saw that it was just a friendly writer, she invited him in for tea. Over tea and cookies, Leo learned about Ella's rare medical condition and how she spent all day, every day in her bathtub. But what surprised him the most was that despite her condition, Ella seemed incredibly happy. She told him how she had come to terms with her illness and how she found joy in the simple things in life like a good book, a cup of tea, and the beautiful view of the lake from her bathtub. Leo was so moved by Ella's story that he decided to write a novel about her. He wrote about her strength, her courage, and her ability to find happiness in the most difficult of circumstances. The book was a huge success and soon became an international bestseller. People all over the world read about Ella and her story of resilience. But what made Ella the happiest was that her story inspired other people. She received letters from people all over the world thanking her for showing them that it was possible to be happy no matter what kind of pain you were in. In fact, a famous movie director read Leo's novel and decided to make a movie about Ella's life. Soon, actors were on their way to the village to meet Ella and prepare for filming. Though Ella was a bit apprehensive at first, she knew that this was a chance to spread her message of happiness and positivity to even more people. As the movie about her life was being made, Ella continued to live her life the way she always had, one day at a time, in her beloved bathtub. The movie was released and became a huge hit. People all over the world fell in love with the story of the girl who chose to be happy. No matter what kind of pain she was in, Ella became an international celebrity overnight. But she remained the same humble, kind-hearted person she had always been. So, if you're ever feeling down, just remember Ella's story and the girl who chose to be happy.